Hello, and welcome to another OpenAI Codex video, where this time we're going to be taking a look as to whether or not it can debug its own code, or just code in general. So quick primer for people who haven't seen this before. Codex is a model made by OpenAI that essentially generates code. So if I put like a comment here, I say like print hello world or something like that, and then I hit generate or submit here, I should get some code that will hopefully print out hello world, although it is taking a second. Oh, okay, it also printed out some other stuff, but it did print out hello world. So that's essentially what OpenAI Codex is, but I'm curious as to whether or not it can debug code, because if you've seen my previous Codex videos, you've seen that it does get, some things wrong sometimes. It does a very good job, but it does get some things wrong. And imagine if you were a programmer and you had to write an entire program without testing your code, without running it to check or doing anything, and you only got one attempt. Especially if you're working on some complicated machine learning stuff, I think the results are usually going to be pretty obvious. You will almost never get it in the first try. It takes time. So we are going to be taking a look if given an error message, it can essentially fix some code, but also if it can find silent bugs in code, bugs that are not obvious, and fix those too. So I don't want to keep boring you with the description here. Let's get to it. I prepared several examples. I haven't tested them myself yet though, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I'm curious to find out. Before we dive too deep into this, I want to take a quick moment to ask that if you enjoy this type of content, do consider subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot to me, and it helps out more than you probably would imagine. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's get back to the video. So let's start with my first example. I'll just copy and paste it in here. And one thing you'll notice, by the way, I've turned up the response length to like 200 or so. Also, I set the best of to 5, which I wasn't doing in my previous videos, but this will actually give us the best of 5 different possible generations. So hopefully we'll be actually doing better now. So let's see, implementation of bubble sort with a single test case at the end. So this is our first example. If you're not familiar with bubble sort, it's like probably the simplest sorting algorithm you can get. It just loops through it has like 2 loops through a list, an inner and outer loop, and it just rearranges the elements to go from smallest to largest. So we are going to hit submit, and first we are going to generate bubble sort. Now I was actually having trouble getting Codex to make errors, so I'm going to introduce an error in myself for some of these, for these simple examples at least. So we're going to take this code right here, and this should work, right? So we are going to take this into Visual Studio Code, paste this in here, and we are going to run it. And as you can see, we print out bubble sort, and it looks like this is in the right order. Although I will say this is already in order, which is a bit strange. Let's move this out of order. We'll put like a 17 there, and a 6 here. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, whatever. It's fine. Now it's in order, right? So our 6 is in the right place, and our 17 is in the right place. So this works. Let's now introduce an error and take one of these things out. So if we do this, we should get an error, right? So if we do this, there we go. We got an error. So what we want to do is take this new code, first of all, and put this back into our playground. So let's repaste this in here. So this is the code with the error. And now we're going to come down to the bottom here, and I have a little prompt I prepared. So the prompt is going to be, let me find it real quick. Here it is, and I'll paste it right over here. So I've essentially set it up as if it's some sort of like test or something, right? So we have question one, running the above code gives the following error. So let's go and copy and paste our error in here. So I'm just going to take the whole error message. We're not going to parse it for it or anything like that. We are going to let it struggle. So let's replace this with the error. Gives the following error. Propose code that will fix the issue. And then we leave it open for an answer. I'm going to add a stop sequence of 3 quotations right here, and this will essentially make it stop when it gets to the end of its answer. So I haven't tested this. I have no clue if this is going to work. Let's submit and find out. I'm actually kind of nervous. I hope this works out for a video. The issue is that the code is not checking if the indexes are out of range. The code should be modified to check if the indexes are out of range. So that's technically it's correct. This is a list index out of range. However, that's not really the issue is that we are going too far with this, right? Because before it was only going to the length of this array -1. Now we're going to the full length of the array, which we should not be doing. So I'm not satisfied with this answer. So let's see if we can probe it a little bit more. And just a spoiler, I did test one of these, so we will have at least one of these that works later on if you want to see an example. So do stay around for that. So let's actually change this prompt a little bit, and we'll also delete the answer. Let's say the code should do a bubble sort, but there, I guess it knows there's an issue. Running the above code gives the following, or let's put it up here. Let's do the code above should do a bubble sort. However, running the code gives the following error. Propose code that will fix the issue. So hopefully it actually proposes code this time. Let's see. Answer. The code above will not work because the last iteration of the outer loop will not be able to compare the last two elements of the array. Okay. The code needs to be modified to include a test case at the end of the outer loop. So this is like, I don't think this is right either, because the last iteration of the outer loop will not. Let's maybe it's stopping before it can rewrite the code. So let's let it generate a little bit more. Bubble sort, right? Okay. Okay. Let's take out the stop sequence. It's trying to generate these. Okay. So it is giving us code. Maybe we just didn't let it generate long enough. Okay. It's taking its time. So I think this will work. I think it just solved it. So if we try this now and we run it, it does work. So it did actually debug the issue. I think the issue is we just weren't giving it enough time to actually do that. The thing, right? It was stopping at these three quotations because I told it to, but it was actually trying to put the fix after that. So, that's pretty good. Now, I should say a little caveat here. This could just be because it's just recoding bubble sort from scratch, or maybe not. I really don't know, but I'd say that this is a success. So round one is a success. Let's move on to my second prompt. So the second prompt is a little bit easier, but we're going to work with something a little bit harder, which are silent bugs in code. Essentially bugs that will go unseen if you don't take a look at like what's actually happening. So where's our prompt? Grabbing the prompt. Generate 20 digits of the Fibonacci sequence, but with a minor error in the code. Now, that is not what I meant to do. What I meant to do is this, and then generate. So I have tested this to make sure that it gives us the right code. And yes, so this is an issue. So if we take this and we go into our code and we run this, you can see that it just generates one number, right? It should be generating the first 20 digits of or at least just 20 digits of the Fibonacci sequence. So that's an issue. So what I'm going to do is now remove this part. So just generate 20 digits of the Fibonacci sequence. And then I'm going to post in our little prompt here for detecting the issue. So again, it doesn't throw an error message, but there is an issue here in the fact that it is not printing out the full sequence as we want. So question one, does the above code snippet give the expected output? So the answer here should be no. Let's see what we get. And I forgot to put in the stop sequence, so this might go for a little bit longer. Answer. Oh, wow. It just generated a bunch of answers and its own questions. Okay, well, let's delete the rest of this. This is all we need. So answer, no. Good. But the code snippet prints out the 20th digit of the Fibonacci sequence, which is, it even gives us the number 6,765. Is that right? It is. Oh my gosh. Wait, what? How is it getting it? Is this memorized or is it actually doing some sort of computation? I'd be willing to bet that this is memorized and this isn't actually doing computation, but I might be wrong. Maybe I should have another video just figuring out how it gets this number. I'm very curious if it can do, maybe this model can actually do some sort of math, and wow. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed by this. I haven't tested this, and that is exactly what we wanted. So round of applause, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. Now, actually, my next question was going to be asking what the issue was and recoding it, but it's already given us what the issue was. So, wow, that's impressive. I guess we could delete this, but let's just keep with this and we'll get to the next prompt, which is actually fixing the bug. So question 2, the code above did not give the expected output. Propose code that would fix the issue. So let's see if it can give us code that will fix this. So let's try and get the answer. Okay. It stopped. Why did, it just generated a bunch more than what we wanted again, but that is okay. Oh, it didn't give an answer. That is unfortunate. I wonder why it didn't give us an answer. Maybe kind of like the last time, maybe we need to phrase this differently. Actually, what I just deleted had code. So let me generate this one more time because I want to test something. As you might have just seen, when it generated that huge sequence right there, it actually did give, does not give the expected output. Oh, yeah. This time it gave us, I don't know what was up with that last time, but it looks like it worked this time. So this is the answer. The code snippet is blah, blah. This is not tail recursive. I think that is correct, maybe. The code snippet is not, wow, this is a very in-depth response. Let's just see if it actually, the code snippet can be fixed by adding a return statement to the end of the function. I don't think that this is a fix. Generate. Let's see. I think this is the exact same thing we just did, but I guess we are about to find out. Yeah, that's the exact same thing. So that unfortunately does not fix the problem, but I have a feeling it can. So I'm going to try a little bit harder here. And, I do say generate. I don't say print. Let's actually take out this question 1 here. And we're going to say question 1, the code above does not generate the expected output. Propose the code. Let's say print 20 digits of the Fibonacci sequence. So I'm going to be a bit more specific here, and let's see if it can get it now. So if we go here, and I'm going to take down the response length because it's been generating quite a bit. The code above does not give the expected output. Propose code that would fix the issue. Let's try this. If this doesn't work, we'll move on to the next test, but I have a feeling we can get this to work. So question 2. Okay, there we go. But, I think, again, this is still the wrong thing. Let's see. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. That's unfortunate. However, we'll move on to the next thing. So the next thing is I want to try telling it exactly what's wrong and seeing if it can solve this then. The code, so let's give it a little bit more help and see if it can solve this, maybe if we tell it what the error is, because that would still be helpful, right? We could, as a human, see an error, tell it what the problem is, and have it just fix it for us, hopefully. So the code above does not give the expected output. Instead of printing a sequence of 20 digits, it prints out only the 20th digit of the Fibonacci sequence. I hope I spelled that right. Propose code that would fix the issue. So let us now try this. If this doesn't work, I'm going to be a little bit sad, honestly. Okay. I think this is still not right. Propose code that would fix the issue. I think this is the exact same thing. Yep. That's the exact same thing. That's that. Okay. It didn't get this, and I'm not gonna lie. This is a little bit disappointing because it couldn't give us the right code, even though it's not that difficult. However, it did, if you remember, in the first part of this test, it did give us the reason for why this is not working. So, I don't know. Take what you will from it. It works in some places and it does not in others. I do have one last thing I want to test here, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult. We are going to be trying linear regression. Now, this time, if you've noticed the last 2 times, I tried to introduce errors into the code. This time, I happened to find something that just has an error on its own. So we can see, without me manipulating something, whether or not it can actually, OpenAI Codex can actually debug its own code. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So implementation of linear regression using toy X and Y data. So let's keep generating. Cool. So we essentially do some imports. We create the X and Y data. We show a plot of the X and Y data. And then we calculate theta. Now, if you're used to doing linear regression with like stochastic gradient descent or something like this might be a little bit weird. This is actually the closed form solution, I believe. I haven't actually tested it, but it looks like it is, right? Where you can actually calculate the perfect weights from, you know, like a one sort of pass sort of thing. You don't need to like do some iteration stuff. So theoretically, this should be able to work. But I have tested this and there is actually an issue. So let's figure out what that issue is, and then we can move on with testing the prompt. So let's copy them there, run this. You can see it shows the scatter plot as there. And now we get this issue. I actually don't even know what this issue is myself. I'm sure I could figure it out if I spent some time on it, but I have not. So what we are going to do is we're going to copy and paste this issue as we go back. Let's go back to here. And here is the raw log. So now what I want to do is I'm going to copy and paste my prompt in here for fixing error messages. So our prompt for fixing error messages, question 1, running the above code gives the following error. So let's copy and paste our error in. And this is a bit more difficult, so I'm not sure we should expect it to get this, but maybe it will. Propose code that will fix the issue. Answer, I hope for the best. Let us pray. Okay, answer, and we got nothing. What's it trying? I'm curious, what's it trying to print out though? It's just printing out the exact same thing. Maybe what we should do is just give it a little head start. We can do something like this. So answer, and then we can copy the first part of it and see if it will follow along with us. Let's just do that. Let's just paste that and see if this works. Okay, so it is generating something. Is it going to generate the exact same thing though? That is what I am scared of. So I think this is the same code, but let's go ahead and test it. I think that was the same, right? Yeah, that is a shame. That is a shame. Okay, so that unfortunately does not work. But let's try the other prompts. Let's try the other prompts. And you know, the other thing we can do is let's actually, I don't usually do this because it takes a while to generate, but let's do best of 20 and I'll give this one more run because honestly I was kind of hoping it would work. I'm slightly disappointed, but at least you all of you watching this know that this is real. I'm not pulling any shenanigans here. This is actually what you can expect when you use this. So it looks like that's the exact same code again, unfortunately, which is pretty disappointing. But I guess, you know, maybe we're expecting too much and maybe we're just not using the right prompts, right? It could be that this would work really well if we use different prompts. I really don't know. Okay, so that doesn't work. That's unfortunate. We can still try a few more things. So running the above code gives the following error. Let's do this. Why is the error thrown? And I'm just kind of freehanding at this point. And what change should be made to fix it? And then we will have an answer. And let's see if it can answer. Honestly, I'm not expecting much. This seems pretty complicated. But answer, okay, wait, we got something. The error is thrown because theta is calculating using the inverse of x dot t dot x. The inverse of a matrix is only defined when the matrix is square and of full rank. That is true, I believe. In this case, it is not square. That is true, it's not square, and is of rank 1. To fix the error, we can add a column of 1s to x. So let me actually look at this and evaluate whether or not this is right. So np.linalg, you know what? But dot x. Yeah, this is actually true. This is really weird. So it's doing a dot product, right? Although I'm not sure if a dot product, yeah, in this case, I don't know why it's even taking the transpose. That's a bit weird, but it looks like it is just taking the inner product. So this would result in a scalar value. And if this is trying to take the inverse, which we can look up really quick because I've never used this function. Yeah, so Yeah, of a square matrix. So it looks like it might actually be getting the issue right. So let's see if we can actually now prod this to give us the right code now that it's given us this. Maybe this will work. So question 2 will be now give a code snippet that would fix the aforementioned issue. And we have an answer. Let's see, maybe it will work this time. I really don't know. Answer, the column of ones is added. Okay, so let's let it finish that. It's not generating anything else. The column of ones is added to y to make. Sorry, it generated a lot of stuff actually, and I just didn't realize it. So this is what it's proposing, saying x equals np.vstack, np.ones of length x. Okay. It's setting the x value to a bunch of ones. Oh, actually, no. So it's stacking ones with x. Will this work? I have no clue. I guess we're going to find out. It doesn't tell us where to put this, though, right? So if we run this, is this just going to work? I doubt it. X and y must be the same size. Yeah. Maybe rather than that, we should say rewrite the code. Now, rewrite the code. Rewrite the code to fix the aforementioned issue. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. If this doesn't work, I think I'm going to give up. This video's already gone on for a bit, but we did get an answer here, and I think this is exactly what I just did. I'm tempted to give up, but I'm also tempted to keep trying this. Let's see. Okay. X and y must be the same size. So, okay, let's copy this. I really want this to work. So let's give it another go. So question 3. Question 3. The previous error was fixed, but now there is a new error being thrown. We'll give it this value error. And I guess we should say, should we just give it the whole traceback? I guess that'd probably be helpful, maybe. Probably not, honestly. It probably hinders it, if anything, but we'll just give it to it in case. So propose new code to fix this issue. And then we will have our answer and see what happens. I hope this has been interesting for all of you. This has been a really interesting video to do for me. So what's happening here? Is it changing anything? I'm not sure it is. I think this is the exact same code. But oh, it generated quite a bit there. Question 3 was the one we were on, right? Yeah. So we'll copy and paste this. Wait. Question 4 is the code above is still throwing an error. Propose new code to fix this issue. Did it already predict that there will be an error? I don't think so, but oh, let's not get rid of our imports. And well, so clearly this is not right. This is not right at all. However, it did fix the error, I guess, but it didn't maintain the correctness of the program, which is an issue. That is obviously an issue. So what to do here? I think I'm going to call it here. This has gone on long enough. I do want to talk very briefly about some other things. It was generating more. I wonder what it was going to generate. It's not throwing an error though. So anyway, that's all the things I wanted to test. The last thing I want to go over is where I see this going and just sort of my thoughts. And my thoughts on this are that I think this sort of process of having, based on the results we've seen today, at least, I think this is clearly not ready. We definitely need more work in prompt engineering, right? Prompt engineering is interesting, something I really know very little about. I guess this is like very naive prompt engineering that we're doing right now. Right? We're just testing out things. I'm sure there's better ways to test these. But once we do get a better handle on this, I almost certainly see this being the way that Codex progresses, not just with bigger models, but being smarter and being able to test its own code. By testing its own code, you're giving it a chance to, work the way humans do. As I said earlier, you could never really expect a human to write a 100-line program and get it right on the first try. It's just, it's unreasonable. It's unreasonable to look through that and be able to predict everything so perfectly. That's what we have testing for. That's what we have, these dry runs for. And, that's why debugging is such an important skill. So that is where I expect Codex to go next. And I'm curious to see what you all have to hear. Do you agree with me that this is sort of where we're going? And how interesting do you find this? Do you want me to do more of this on the channel? I've really been enjoying the OpenAI Codex stuff. So if you do enjoy it, let me know in the comments. And again, do consider subscribing if you haven't already. I really do appreciate it, and it helps out a lot. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I also hope to catch you next time.